Can young Peter defeat the Lizard and then Dr. Doom? Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into adjustable ways to help you understand. Then I read it dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. This one is handled a little differently. It's a single issue story, but they're so short that I wanted to tie two of them into one video. So here are the stories of Spidey issues 3 and 4 about his retconned origins. Peter Parker has been having a rough time juggling his life, superhero life, and school. His grades are slipping, he isn't popular anywhere, and he just wants to beat up these bullies since he is Spider-Man, but he knows if the world finds out that he is Spider-Man, it'll ruin May's life. To make matters worse, his aunt is having problems covering their bills, making Peter think that he might need to go get a job. And so he becomes the amazing pizza delivery boy. Except on his first day of work, he rides into the middle of New York where there are countless lizards running around. And here he thought that his Spidey sense was going off because he was going to be late delivering this pizza. Thinking to himself, oh well, he slips into an alley and he changes into his Spider-Man outfit before swinging back onto the streets to web up all of the lizards. But Spidey finds it a bit odd that this is obviously a plot from the Lizard, but the Lizard isn't around. The Lizard is an army medic that lost his arm, and then he tried to conduct research with lizard DNA to allow him to regrow said arm. But it had a side effect of changing him into a giant lizard man bent on changing the entire world into lizards. He looks over and he notices that some of those lizards are jumping into the sewers, and he realizes that that is probably where the lab is at. So he climbs down and he turns on his Spidey symbol flashlight and he follows the trail until he gets into the lizard's lab. While there is no lizard there, he does find a bunch of eggs, and that's when they begin to hatch into little lizards. And it's almost as if it's perfect timing because this is a comic book or something. As they begin to hatch all around Spidey, he's not really that concerned, but they then begin to quickly overwhelm him, and he does get a little concerned. As he whips his way to the ceiling to get away from the lizard himself returns, grabbing Spidey by the throat and throwing him aside, asking, "Why would you hatch the egg so soon?" Spidey slumps to the ground and he begins to wonder if spleens can break because he knows he heard something break. He then runs back to the surface, getting the lizard to follow him, and once he's topside, to get a little breathing room, he begins to whip around, gaining momentum so that he can punch the lizard. But that's when the lizard gets his tail around Spidey's neck, throwing him into the nearby wall. Spidey jumps back, launching himself into the air, knocking out the lizard with a big hit, but that's when he sees a larger problem. These lizard monsters are escaping into the city, but that also gives him an idea: sell them to the zoo! The zookeeper explains to him that they don't exactly pay money for these kinds of things, but if he wants, he could probably sell photos to the National Geographic. And that's when it dawns on him: why not take more pictures of Spider-Man and sell those? He hugs the zookeeper while wearing his souvenir hat and pennant, and then he goes to take pictures of Spider-Man, selling them to make money for Aunt May. Crisis solved! Now it's time for issue 4. Spidey was walking through the park thinking about how things just aren't working out still. Villains are escaping all over the place, and the photo that he sent in was used to paint him as a menace, and the bullies at school still won't leave him alone. But his soul-searching walk brings him to a museum where he witnesses a guy in a green hoodie stealing a painting and trying to sneak away. He walks up to him telling the thief to stop, and that's when the thief pulls out a gun, revealing it to be Dr. Doom. No, seriously, it's Dr. Doom in a green hoodie. He tells Spidey that he's returning this artwork to Latveria, and he isn't gonna play some game with some 15-year-old kid. And Spidey's reply is, you're 15! Then he thinks to himself, smooth, Pete, smooth. He then asks, is Dr. Doom going hippie? Does he prefer to be called the Doomster now? And the Doomster shouts back at him, my name is Dr. Doom! The two of them begin to battle it out, bouncing off the walls of the museum with Dr. Doom's rocket boots, until Spidey gets a chance to whip the gun and punch off Dr. Doom's head, which informs Spidey that this isn't really Dr. Doom, but is actually a Doombot. He swings into the city where he sees on TV that the Doombots are fighting all over the place, fighting various superheroes, and that's what gets Spidey thinking, what is Dr. Doom really after? But as he continues to watch the television, he sees a tagline that there are power outages in Brooklyn, and he thinks to himself, is Dr. Doom trying to steal power? He gets over to the power station where inside he does find Dr. Doom, and Dr. Doom turns around and tells Spidey that we are actually the same. Superior intellect, incredible power, and we are both incredibly alone. Then he stops, and Spidey looks at him. Did we just have a moment? No, I was simply waiting. Waiting for, never mind, Spidey says as he sees Doombots are now surrounding him. He begins beating on the Doombots, taking off their heads until one of them gets his hands on Spidey, blasting him through the ceiling and into the city. He goes flying through the roof of an apartment building and then hits a wall, floor, wall, and he lands in the park outside. That's where a little kid walks over in a Spidey mask and asks him what happened. He tells him that he got beat by Dr. Doom, and the kid tells him, you got this, you're Spider-Man. He then gives Spidey a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and they swap masks because Spidey's was ripped and Owen had an awesome one that he made himself. Spidey then swings back over to the power station where he positions himself outside, whips up a spiderweb launcher together, and he throws himself into the power station and into Doom's machine, powering the Doom bots. As he lands destroying it, he shuts down all of the bots. He looks around and he doesn't see Doom. And and the news gives credit to Captain America for stopping Dr. Doom, leaving the newspapers to blame Spidey for trashing the museum. In the end, Doom went back to Latveria. He did win though, because he actually just wanted that painting. He felt that a painting made by a Latverian painter deserved to be in the Latveria Museum. One of the Doombots then asks him if he meant what he said. Is he alone? And Doom scoffs at that. Doom is never alone. Like I said, these are individual issues telling early stories about Spidey and retconning a lot of his origin stuff, so I hope you guys are enjoying them, and we'll be getting back to issues 5 and 6 real soon. I'll see you guys next time right here, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Comicstorian and Twitter at Comicstorian, and if you're enjoying comic books, check out our manga channel where we bring you manga every Monday and Friday, Comicstorian, and our gaming channel, Eligible Monster, where you get a new gaming comic book every Friday. I'll see you guys over there, and have a good night.